Welcome to the Rani Chennamma University BSc 4 Sem Physics Interference Session 8. This Session 8 includes Michelson interferometer, in which the formation of circular and straight fringes qualitatively we have to explain, and then determination of wavelength of monochromatic light using Michelson interferometer. So, the learning objective of this session is to produce the circular and straight fringes of Michelson interferometer and then determination of wavelength of the monochromatic light. So, we need some prerequisites as the interference and also the construction and working principle of the Michelson interferometer. Interference. Interference, we know that it is the phenomena of modification in the intensity of a light due to a distribution of light energy in the region of superposition of two or more light waves, as we know this. And then this is the experimental setup of Michelson interferometer. So as it is consisting of a P1 and M1 and M2 are two plain highly polished mirrors. M1 and M2 are exactly placed perpendicular. P2 is called a compensating plate placed between P1 and M2, and the telescope which it measures the fringes. So as soon as light from the convex lens L parallel beam, it will incident to plate P1, so it will divides part towards M1 and part towards M2, and after reflection from M2, and if M1 and M2 are exactly perpendicular, then there is a image of M2 due to a P1, it forms across M2. So here the film between M1 and M2 dash, the layer between M1 and M2 dash, it will produces a number of fringes depending upon the if it is a parallel, we'll get a circular. If it is a crossed, we'll get a straight fringes. So likewise we are getting a different types of fringes are there. If M1 and M2 dash is exactly parallel, means M1 and M2 are exactly perpendicular, then we'll get a circular fringes. If M1 and M2 are exactly crossed like this, crossed, then it is to be the dark fringe. And here if M1 and M2 are just slits with some angle, then we'll get a localized fringes. So let us see different types of fringes. So here the principle of this Michelson-Morley experiment is the amplitude of the light beam from the extended source divided into two parts of equal intensities by partial reflection and refraction. These beams are sent in two directions at right angles and brought together after reflection from the plane mirrors to produce the interference fringes. Let us study the different types. Depending upon the separation and the angle of inclination between M1 and M2 dash, various forms of fringes are obtained. The fringes are maybe a straight, circular and elliptical, and also the parabolic. To get a desired set of fringes, two requirements must be satisfied. So first is that the light must be originated from an extended source, and the second one is it is to be a monochromatic. Now here this is an extended source. Yes, due to this we'll get two sources, S1 and S2 are two virtual sources. So due to these two virtual sources, after reflection from these two sources from M1 and M2 dash, so here M1 and M2 dash, so if they are exactly parallel, then so S1 and S2 are the rays from S1 and S2, they will get reunit and will get a interference pattern, and will see through our eye. So if the D is the distance between M1 and M2 dash, then there is a 2D is the difference between S1 and S2, and if there is a distance lambda by 2 is moved, if m1 is moved lambda by 2, then the path difference is exactly is equal to lambda. So when m1 and virtual image m2 dash are parallel, or when the surface m1 and m2 are exactly perpendicular to each other, then circular fringes are formed. Let S be the extended or a monochromatic source of light, and S1 and S2 are virtual sources of S formed m1 and m2 dash respectively. If D is the distance between m1 and m2 dash, and then the two virtual images S1 and S2 are separated by a distance 2D. If the telescope is set along the direction making an angle theta with a normal drawn from m1 and m2 dash, then the path difference is not only 2D but it is a 2D cos theta. So in the interferometer ray reflected from m2, it suffers a reflection at a silvered surface at p1, and hence there is an additional path difference of lambda by 2 to be introduced, because it is reflected from the denser medium of m2. So there is a path difference of lambda plus lambda by 2. Therefore the true path difference is equal to 2d cos theta plus lambda by 2. And let us equate this for a constructive and a destructive interference. For a constructive interference, 2d cos theta plus lambda by 2 is equal to n lambda, and this gives a 2d cos theta is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. And for a destructive interference, it is a 2d cos theta plus lambda by 2 is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, and which gives a 2d cos theta is equal to n lambda. So for a bright ring, it is a 2d cos theta is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2, and for dark it is a 2d cos theta is equal to n lambda, where theta is constant for a given value of d, n and lambda. Then there is a maxima will be along the circumference of the circle, and which appears to be bright. The background is bright, and depending upon the theta, the set of concentric circular bright and dark rings are formed, and they are known as the fringes of equal inclination. And these fringes are also called as a Hedinger's fringes. And now the circular fringes are localized at infinity, and they are visible for a path difference of order of some millimeters. So if d is equal to 0, so what is d? D is the distance between m1 and m2 dash. If d is equal to 0 means if they will coincide. If they are exactly parallel and if they are coincide, then the path difference is 0, then the field of view appears to be dark. So then, which is shown in this figure P. And if M1 is moved either side parallel to itself, widely spaced circular fringes are formed as shown in the figure A and C. If it is towards the mirror, and the circular fringes are moves away from the center. If it is away from the center, away from M2 dash, then they are coming towards the center, and they will disappear at the center. So likewise, so the circular fringes are obtained if M1 is moved towards M2 dash or away from the M2 dash. So if M1 and M2 dash are inclined as shown in the figure A and C, see here, if M1 and M2 dash are like this, and here M1 and M2 dash is inclined like this, then we'll get these encircled rings like fringes are obtained. The curved fringes of a convex sides towards the thin edge of the wedge are obtained. If M1 and M2 are intersect, the straight line fringes are produced as shown in this figure. If M1 and M2 dash are intersect, then this straight line fringes are produced. These fringes are localized in the air film and are observed up to a small path difference. The change of thickness d of the air film causes the variation of the path difference, and these are called as fringes of equal thickness. Okay, so this here we have studied how the different types of fringes are produced. Let us see, if white light is used, then what happens? If white light is used, dark fringe is observed at the center along with the colored fringes outside. So colored fringes with a greater radius, so they are obtained from the center. It is having a dark fringe. The fringes formed are used finding a zero path difference in standardization of the meter. Then let us see the movement of the fringes. Then what happens if the M1 is moved towards or away from the M2 dash? If M1 is moved away from M2 dash, then parallel to itself, then circular fringes are seen to generate at the center and moves in outward. And if M1 is moved towards M2 dash parallel to itself, the circular fringes are seen to shrink at the center and disappear. So likewise the movement of M1 and M2 dash, so they will produce the circular fringes towards or away from the center. So whenever M1 is moved through a distance d, if it is moved through a distance d which is equal to half the wavelength, so if it is moved through a distance of half the wavelength of the light, then the path difference between so S1 and S2 is equal to lambda. Now let us see how we can determine the wavelength of the monochromatic light using this Michelson interferometer. First, the mirrors M1 and M2 are adjusted for a circular fringes. As we know that for a circular fringes, M1 and M2 are exactly perpendicular. If M1 and M2 are exactly perpendicular, from P1 we get a M2 dash. So which is the image of M2, and it is exactly parallel to M1. If they are exactly parallel, then the circular fringes are observed through the telescope. They are observed through the telescope, and the intersection of the cross wire of the eyepiece of the telescope is made to coincide with the center of the circular fringe. First we have to coincide with the telescope eyepiece cross wire is coincide with the center of the circular fringe, and keeping M2 is fixed and move M1 slowly will help the micrometer screw. When M1 is moved through a distance slowly to the with the help of the micrometer screw, then there are the n number of circular fringes are appeared. And when M1 moves through a distance lambda by 2, a ring appears at the center. The distance between two consecutive rings is the full one wavelength lambda. So if it is a distance moved by the lambda by 2, then the distance between the two consecutive rings is a full wavelength lambda. That is, if n is the number of circular fringes that appears when M1 is moved through a distance d, then equate this 2d is equal to n lambda, then as the wavelength lambda is equal to 2d by n. So with this equation we can easily calculate the wavelength of the monochromatic light. If you know the distance, how much of distance it is moved and how much of the circular fringes that are appeared. So these are some multiple choice questions. In moving a mirror M1 of a Michelson interferometer through a distance of 1 mm, 300 fringes are counted. The lambda, that is a wavelength of the light, is lambda is equal to 2d by n. After substituting d and n, we get the wavelength, that is 6666 angstrom. Then in Michelson's interferometer, M1 is moved through a distance of 0.00725 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter if the wavelength of the light is 5800 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. The number of fringes that are crossed the center of the field of view is. So we have to calculate here n by knowing the value of lambda and by knowing the value of d, and find the value of n. So as lambda is equal to 2d by n. So here the answer is A, that is 250. Then the circular fringes are formed in the Michelson's interferometer when M1 and M2 are exactly, the answer is perpendicular. That is, as it is given parallel, perpendicular along the axis and opposite to the axis, but the answer is B, perpendicular. Now, the straight fringes are obtained in the Michelson interferometer when M1 and M2 dash are intersect. So the answer is A. Next, the expression of the wavelength of the monochromatic light in a Michelson's interferometer is 2d by n. So the answer is B. Okay, so here we have studied the condition and the formation of circular and straight fringes, and the method of determination of wavelength of monochromatic light using Michelson's interferometer. So these are the few references that you can refer. Thank you.